Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the Ben 10 Retrospectives. I am Samuel Johnson, and with me today is...
Haley Dudley.
And today we're going to be talking about episode 22 of the original Ben 10 series, Tough Luck. And what did you think of the episode?
It was good to watch it again. I mean, oh my god.
Yeah.
I always like Ben 10, but I forgot how cheesy things were. Like, how everything just lines up so perfectly, and then no one pays contribute to that. Like, it's not luck, it's magic. No, you found that bracelet by luck. There's no magic fairy godmother following you, just like, here you go. No, you found that by sheer dumb luck.
Yeah, so, before I state my thought, let's summarize the episode.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, so, in the episode, Hex from the Lucky Girl episode returns, and joining him is his niece, Charmcaster, who is, straight and to the point, a sociopath.
Basically.
Yeah, she... Pretty much, Hex once they break out, Hex's main thing is revenge, because all villains want revenge.
Of course.
And so, at the meantime, the Tennysons are going to Las Vegas because there's a magic convention there, but Ben is feeling tired about about doing all this hero stuff and not having time to relax, and Gwen is mourning the loss of her lucky girl after several episodes of not seeing her mourning. But she happens to, at a jewelry stand, she finds a bracelet containing one last Charm Bezel that she did not smash at the end of Lucky Girl.
It is the keystone.
Yep. Which actually has the power to enhance someone's own physical prowess to superhuman levels. So
10 times your normal skill.
Yep. So she uses them. So with the keystone, she becomes Lucky Girl again. And unlike the last time, Ben is not jealous of her because he's been feeling the strain of doing all this by himself. So... But it turns out that Hex is also looking for the keystone because it, as we learn later in the episode, it can actually be used during an eclipse to recreate the charms of Bezel. So it's a race again. It's Ben and Gwen versus Hex and Charmcaster, and I think that's really all I'll say. I know I usually spoil these things, but I think that's really all enough I can say. So honestly, I think it's like what Haley said. I think it's actually pretty nice. I think it's. After all this time watching it again, I think it still is nice, and I do like Charmcaster as a villain.
Yeah, no, she makes an awesome villain. I mean, she plays people very well, and you can obviously tell she is just out for herself.
Yeah, she's obviously just a sadist, a patient she's...
Well, I wouldn't say she's not necessarily a sadist, more of... Because she is a sadist, enjoy pain. She's just more of, I know what I want, and I'm gonna get it, and I don't care who I have to step on in order to do so.
Yeah, and she's actually very good, and this episode kind of does illustrate that very clearly, because in the very first few scenes, you think, oh, she's just timid, she's doing everything with Hex, but you start to see a little bit of her personality when, because she's being chased by Gwen and Ben during this middle section, but then when catches her, she acts like, oh, he was making me do it, but then only to learn that she'd only faked that so she'd get the keystone from Gwen when she was unaware.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the episode, you learn that her timid personality, her uncle, was all just an act because she needed him to recreate the charms of Bezel because he's a better sorcerer than her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, she definitely knows how to play the crowd, which is pretty great. But I appreciate the fact that, she's not just like with Hex, all he has is his magic, and that's basically what he relies on. For Charmcaster, it seems like she has her magic, but then she has her acting skills, and then she also apparently is a pretty badass pickpocket based on how she was able to get the charm. And it's
like you said, because with Hex, it's what you see is what you get. He's a man that just wants power. He's dark, and he's not a bad villain because he is entertaining to watch. But with Charmcaster, this and almost every other one of her appearances just show her to be a manipulator, a good actor, a patient, and like her uncle, she wants power to do whatever she wants. But unlike her uncle, she knows that you can't just use brute force to get it. You have to work for it. Which in this case is she tricks her uncle, tricks Gwen, and she's very good at it.
Yeah, I mean, she's one of those villains who understands her limitations. Like, she accepts the fact that she is not as good of a sorcerer as her uncle, and so he...
What are you talking about?
Hang on.
Okay, sorry about that. A little interruption. Anyway, we're talking about how awesome Charmcaster was.
Yes. Well, she, like I was saying, she understands her limitations. Like, she knows she's not as good as a sorcerer as her uncle, so, you know, she has to keep him around to get done what she needs to get done that she can't do. And, you know, it's most of the time with villains, you know, you see them, they're just like, yeah, I'm the most badassiest badass ever.
Which is actually something that you kind of notice with Ben 10. Like, some villains are smart, but not all of them are as strategic as this. Like, there is some of them, but most of them usually do rely on brute force to get their job done. Mm-hmm. Like, with two big examples I can think of being Kevin and Vilgax. Yeah. Kevin especially because he's not that smart.
No.
But I'm trying to think if there's any... Oh, yeah, another thing I like is, as mentioned in the summary, Ben is, unlike in Lucky Girl, Ben is not jealous of Gwen this time because that he's been getting tired of doing the hero job by himself. And what this episode actually does well is actually showing showing them working together as a team. And you actually do, and they do fight alongside each other. They actually do have a good dynamic in terms of fighting prowess. Like like they're not trying to overshadow each other like in the first time Gwen was Lucky Girl, which wound up getting Ben in a cement mixer. But in this case, they are actually working side by side, taking on different parts of the battle. While Gwen takes care of one thing, Ben takes care of another. Or if they're separated, they go for different angles. It actually has them working like a team, which I actually kind of like because.
Yeah, no, I mean it definitely, definitely they work well as a team. I personally think that this was a great show of how Ben has went from being the very self-absorbed little teenager type person, 10-year-old, whatever he is.
Yeah, he's 10.
10, of course. To being a bit more mature and a bit, more, okay, so this is how the world actually works.
Well, it's not the full thing.
Yeah, but no. But it's a good moment, you know?
Yeah, but that actually kind of shows that what the theme in Ben 10 is that for every episode he's gaining more experience, because I mentioned this in my Grudge Match vlog, and I know you did not see that. But when push comes to shove, Ben can be smart. He can think things through, because in Grudge Match he actually was able to organize everything. He was able to organize the criminals. He was able to work with Kevin, figure out ways that he could use his powers. Mm-hmm. He actually was thinking smart when the need arises. Like, he's still an immature. He's still a kid, and he can be immature. He's 10.
Yeah, I mean, he's 10. He's not supposed to be like making all life-death decisions. All important choices in life right now. But I mean. I thought it was really interesting, though, too, how, like, he was tired. Like, he said several times how he's tired of doing all this hero stuff by himself. He's tired of being a hero, because I can understand that. Every day you go out and you have to risk your life and to fight someone, or you have to, go out of your way to be helpful.
Or saving a bunch of old people on a bus.
Yep.
Which is how the episode opens.
And then carry them off.
Your bunion's my butt! Did you know the same woman that plays Ben is also the one that did that voice? Tara Strong.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's a very good voice actor. But anyway, so I kind of think that I can't really think of much else to talk about in the episode because I think it was a good episode. It was nice.
It was very short and concise. I mean, there's not much to talk about there, but
Yeah, but it still has all these interesting things, and it still continues how the series works because it had good action, good animation. We liked Charmcaster as a villain because she was very creative, and I liked seeing another thing with more of a step with Gwen because...
Oh, sorry to interrupt you. Yeah. I remembered, Hex is an idiot.
Oh, yeah. He's an intelligent idiot, but...
but, like, all-powerful sorcerer who thinks he is, the best of the best, and he can't let his niece leave because she cannot leave until he says she can leave.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I shall destroy you. Charmcaster, destroy them for me.
I mean...
Dude! And he can have brilliant plans, but his usual attempt is usually brute force. And his first, biggest... an example, I know this is kind of a spoiler, and I might do a vlog for the next series, but in Alien Force, there was an episode where Gwen went back in time to the first episode to try and stop Kevin from becoming mutated, but that unintentionally allowed it so that Charmcaster and Hex could take over the world. That victory was not something he achieved, and he knew it. Because of his magic powers, he knows that, oh, I'm not the one that did this. It was just luck that knew that your thing. Yeah, that just shows that while they may have achieved victory in this timeline, they wouldn't have done that under normal circumstances. But which and Hex is supposed to be the supreme ruler, so yeah, that's kind of what you say. That Hex he does rely more on his brute force. He never goes in and says, "Hey, I want this, I want that, I want." He doesn't go in.
I would even argue that he doesn't really argue on brute force. I mean, because obviously he knows he can get his butt kicked by Ben and Gwen, but he mostly seems to rely on his intimidation. That's about it. Like, he knows he's scary, and so he can get people to do things because of that. But that's all he really had going for him this episode was he was scary, and so people listened.
yeah, actually, when you think about it, if you actually think about it, he does not really do most of the heavy lifting, but again, I think the joke of Charmcaster destroy them for me is apropos, because he does do some stuff, but Charmcaster's the one with all the tricks with her magic bag. She's got all this stuff. Yeah, she's got little rings that she can throw out. She has explosions. She's got those dogs.
I mean, literally the only thing that Hex did as far as fighting the Ben and Gwen in this episode goes is he lifted them up and threw them across the room a few times.
Yeah.
Everything else was Charmcaster.
Yeah, because he did explosions too.
Well, yeah, but that was in the audience at the convention, and it was literally just random, let's make people scatter type of explosion.
I actually think back on it, he did not do anything. Like, even during the fight, he did use some magic during the fight, like he blew Ben off of him, he did do something.
Again, just lifting people up, throwing them across the room.
But he was mostly Charmcaster.
Yeah.
Like, he transported them around, but
he was useless this episode, except
it's just showing how better Charmcaster is.
He was a glorified bus.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Just showing how good Charmcaster is.
Yeah.
She actually did all the heavy lifting.
Yeah. And she held her own against them. I mean,
yeah.
She did. She was better off than Hex was.
Which is probably why in season 3, when they have their magic villain, it's only her.
Which makes total sense, because she is way more badass than he is.
Yeah. So, I can't think of anything else to talk about, can you?
No, I think that's about it.
Okay, then. So, yeah. We liked the episode. It was fun to watch. Good villain. Nice team. Further teamwork. And I also kind of like that this does kind of show more of Gwen's journey to becoming a magician that that other episodes will show later. But
yeah, like in the end when it was implied that she would be a master magician one day.
Yeah. So, yeah, on the whole, still a good episode.
Yeah.
I liked it. You liked it, so.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, so, yeah. Thank you for watching. I'm Samuel Johnson.
I'm Haley Dudley.
And tune in next week where we look at episode 23 of the original Ben 10 series, though unfortunately she will not be here. I am sorry. Let's hang our heads in loss. So
very tragic, I know.
Okay. So again, thank you for watching. I'm Samuel Johnson.
I'm Haley Dudley.
And I will see you next week. Take care.
Bye.